What's up, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News. And you know it's better than one person from NEPA gracing you with their presence? Two people from NEPA gracing you with their presence. Today I'm talking to Malek Mahmoud. He fights on April 1st at CFFC 94. He takes on Joey Tizzano in a featherweight bout. Let's bring Malek in here. Malek, how you doing, my man? Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to speak with us here today.
Thanks for having me, John. I appreciate it. It's nice seeing you.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure catching up here, and we have a lot to catch up on because you haven't fought now since April of 2018. Hard to believe that it's been that long. So, just how are you feeling that fight week is almost here? Just how are the emotions as you're a few days out from fight night?
Good. Just excited. Jump back into it. It's been a while, like you just said. I had a couple injuries I had to deal with, so took longer than expected. But I'm healthy. Excited to jump back in there though, for sure.
And now, this time, like I said, you'll be in the Cage Fury promotion. The last time you fought was in Maverick MMA. Just how did you come about getting signed with Cage Fury?
I've been in contact with them for quite a bit. Just never really got on the same schedule with them. This one's in Philly, so it's a decent amount away. It's not too far, but I've always been in contact with them. It's just been exciting. Never really got the opportunity to just kind of say yeah and set up a date until now. So it's hopefully it's going to be a good show though to put on.
And now let's talk about that show that you're going to be putting on there on April 1st. You're taking on Joey Tizzano, like I said in the beginning. Tell us a little bit about Joey and what you've seen from him as you've been scouting him for this fight.
Well, I used to go up to his gym. We have like a mutual, I wouldn't say coach, but partner that we used to train with together up in Miller's Brothers. But I mean, kid's great. I mean, he's a nice kid, very humble, down to earth as well. It just in this sport, you're gonna, especially all the good fighters, you're gonna, especially if you're out the same way as well, you're gonna meet some time down the line. So I kind of had a feeling when we first started, when we were training together, that we were going to eventually see each other across the cage. But I mean, he's a good athlete, of course. He has a couple fights underneath him as well. I don't know his record for sure, but he has great coaches behind him as well. So should be exciting to get rumbling.
So what's that like for you then to go out there and fight somebody that you know pretty well and that you've had training experiences with? Like, I have to imagine you probably know his weaknesses, he knows yours, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I do know him, but I don't know his weaknesses. I mean, we trained a couple times. I know he's good at everything. It's just there's things that, like I said before, like if once you're in the same weight class, it's gonna be hard to avoid that person, even if you guys train together for quite a bit of amount of time. You know, if you're in the same area, you're gonna eventually come across them. But it is a little weird though, going up against somebody that you know. It's the mindset though. Once you get in there, it just everything's off the table, like the friends and all that good stuff, like partners. But there's no like animosity or anything between us. He's a good kid. I mean, God bless him and good luck to him. You know.
I understand. And now, Malik, I want to bring ring rust up here just for a second because, like we said in the beginning, it's been a minute since 2018. Do you think when you first get out there, it might take you a few minutes to get comfortable and get your timing down, or do you not believe in ring rust and you think you could just go right out there and think you haven't missed a beat in the last 3 years?
I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about ring rust. I've never done this before, but like taking 3 years off. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go back in there and it's gonna be right at it. I just don't. I don't feel like if you're preparing for a fight, I mean, any sport, you're preparing for something, you're ready to go. I don't think there should be any rust at it. You know, I mean, if there was, and if there's any doubt, you shouldn't sign a contract. You shouldn't jump in the cage or do any sport that you're returning back to. You know, if you're not confident. But again, I haven't done this in a while. You know, I am confident in my ability to be able to go back in there and do what I usually do. But again, it's it's a tough sport. I mean, you're using your body as a weapon, so nothing's guaranteed to walk out healthy. You know, of course not. I mean, there's minimum pads and a lot of car crashes, like Justin Gaethje likes to say. So it should be a good time though.
I bet, man. And another thing too that I want to bring up is your health too. So your last fight, it was in Maverick MMA. I still remember after the fight, you lost such a narrow, close, split decision. All of your friends here in NEPA, we have a small circle here in northeastern Pennsylvania. So I see people on Facebook and on Twitter and everything, and people were pissed, man. They really thought that you won that fight. They wanted to see what was going to happen next for you. Everybody thought you were going to come back with a vengeance and that, you were going to go on this absolute tear. You threw everybody a curveball. You decided to retire because you had so many injuries. Just tell everybody, just number one, how difficult it was to hang it up when everything was, you were probably on a high then. You were signed to a new promotion, had a great first fight, a lot of great things were looking up for you. So just number one, how hard was it to hang it up? And then number two, how's your body feeling now?
It's so hard, especially at a young age. I mean, it was 3 years ago, so it's the worst because you have so much left in the gas tank. I mean, you had a lot of things going right for you, and it's just devastating. I mean, the people that don't have injuries don't really understand it. They just kind of think it's just they're giving up, but it's not giving up. It's just kind of looking towards the future and understanding the health. How healthy are you going to be when you're out of this sport? Because I mean, it might be weird to say coming out, but I don't believe fighting is a career. I think every time you step in the cage, it's just an opportunity. It's just nothing's given to you. Each fight next isn't necessarily going to happen. Things could happen in that fight that you're currently fighting, and like it did last time. Like I tore my ACL in the first round. It sucked. It was tough to continue that fight as well too. I remember telling my coach that it just after the first round it was torn. And he told me, he's like, well, what I'm going to call the fight and why? I mean, I'm in the middle of it, let's just try to end it. And I still believe I won that fight. And I'm not trying to be like a sore loser or any type, but it's just the fact that I don't believe the scoring system is where it should be. It shouldn't be scored as like boxing. 10-9 rounds are so tough on MMA. It's not just one aspect of it. There's wrestling, there's grappling, there's control. There's a lot of different things how you should score. But I mean, that's a different story and different a long thing I could kind of continue to roll on. But either or, that the health wise, I mean, I'm definitely healthy enough to jump back in there. Of course, I mean, I got cleared throughout doctor wise and physical therapists kind of telling me that I'm good to go. But it's just tough to not think that it might happen again, because of course it might. It's almost inevitable that you're not going to get hurt, because I mean you're kicking somebody, you're punching somebody to get hit back. Like the whole point of the sport is to finish the person, to win. I mean, even ultimately you finish your 3 5-minute rounds, you're hurt. I mean, you're using your body as a weapon again, like I said. So, but the health wise, I am good to go and excited to jump back into it. And it's been a ride the past 3 years, up and down of why, if I should have left or if I shouldn't have. But I mean, I'm back now, so let's put on a show again.
And Mark, you brought up a very interesting point there when you were talking about the scoring and the way how judges should look at things. One of the things now that's been debated on has been open scoring, and the state of Kansas has now made it where if you're fighting in that state, that they will tell you at the end of each round how the judges scored it. So if you're in a close fight, you're going to the last round, you'll know if you're up around, tied, losing on the judges' scorecards. And it's been some mixed feedback. I just want to get your thoughts, since you were talking there about judges scoring. Would you be open to seeing open scoring in mixed martial arts? I'm
cool with that. I am. I mean, I never heard that before besides now, but I'm cool with that. Like, I'm okay with knowing. You kind of should know to an extent. Obviously, if it's a close round, you wouldn't know who won or not. But what I am, and a lot of fighters I've seen, obviously in the tier 1 level and the UFC level, and then underneath it as well, that it's not really about who won the card or who won the round or not. I mean, it's definitely nice to know during the fight, just because, I mean, if you're down 2-0 and you think it's 1-1 or you're up 2-0, there's that third round's going to be different for sure, how you think about it and how you approach it, But I'm talking about the 10-9 rounds is what the biggest thing is. Like, the judges, like, I mean, again, I'm here where everybody else is there, that like my opinion doesn't matter, but it's just what I've been thinking throughout the years. Like, it shouldn't just be like a 10-9 or 10-8 tally. It can't, because it's a complex round, a complex sport. Like, you just can't. I don't know how you justify watching 5 minutes of two guys fighting And I mean, back and forth, you just score one guy 10, another guy 9. When there's a couple of knockdowns, maybe a takedown, significant strikes, like submission attempts, there's a lot of variables into it. And, there is criteria how they should score it. And I mean, I even went back and looked at it. The criteria is still shaky as well, too. I mean, I feel like they have to develop more into breaking it down into more of a mixed martial arts scoring card. Like, it has to be broken down more, like takedown. It has to be down takedowns, like stand up, like strikes, significant strikes, kicks. I mean, a bunch of stuff, especially when you get on the ground with jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Like, it should be, because I mean, these are our. I mean, like I said before, like, I don't think it as a career, but I mean, if I said that in front of Frankie Edgar, he'd probably be pissed, because it is a career for him. I love Frankie. Frankie's been one I've been watching since I was younger. And it's nothing against him or anything like that. Like, how I'm saying against it, but like, it is a career for him. So the judges should understand, like, we're putting our lives on the line. Like, this is a professional sport. It's nothing that, like, we're not going to be. How am I supposed to say this? But we're not going to be judged off of. I mean, maybe they don't know much about the sport, and they're just kind of watching it, and they're just assuming, hey, this guy won 10-9. There's just more to it, and affects our lives way more than they think. So I believe the scoring system should change.
I think I have an example that maybe I'll get your thoughts on it. Maybe this is what you're relating to. I remember when Michael Bisping fought George St. Pierre, Bisping was saying how when he ended up getting caught, he was trying to open up his offense a little bit more, because he was getting taken down by GSP. But even though he's on the bottom, he's throwing elbows from the bottom, cutting GSP up. But for the judges, they see that he's losing because he got taken down and GSP was on top of him, even though he was inflicting so much damage from the bottom. So is that something that you'd be talking about? Like, in situations like that is where they should have more of an open-minded understanding of the sport?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, like, if the guy on top, if you want, we're talking about the GSP Bisbee fight. Like, if George is on top and not really doing much, he's just kind of transitioning from the full guard to the half guard, whatever. And not really doing much, no submission attempts, no strikes on top, and Bisbee is on bottom, creating more damage. Yeah, I mean, just because the guy on top has control, that doesn't mean he's winning, or not winning the fight, but winning that position or advancing to finish the fight, because that's the whole objective, is to finish the fight. So if the person does take down and kind of hold you there, what does that really do? Like, what does it truly do besides control? Yeah, I mean, you are going to win that aspect of the criteria for it. But what about the significant strikes that you're getting onto the opponent? That's major towards it. Because one of them can knock him out. Like Kevin Holland, he was on his back. It wasn't his last fight. It was one before that. Like, he was on his back. Yeah, he knocked him out. And it's you don't see it, but like, things could happen that way. And I guarantee if Kevin Holland stayed on the ground the whole time and he was continuing striking the guy and he was making a lot of damage, but is it Jacare that was he would just stayed on top? I think the judges would have said Jacare would have won the round, but like, I don't see that. It could be a 10-9 round, but like, again, it should be scored a little bit differently. So it's more like in on paper that, hey, like, Kevin Holland or whoever may the case may be was taken down, was on bottom position, was not in the control position, but had more significant strikes, more aggressive to finish the fight than Jacare. I was on top. I was just kind of hanging out, and maybe just waiting for that 5 minutes to end. So that's kind of my opinion on it.
I understand. Now, Malek, I want to talk a little bit about I guess your attitude, we'll say. I still remember, the reason why I want to bring this up, I remember back, and we're going back to your PA cage fighting days here. I was working with SSP TV News out of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I came down to your gym with the camera. We were promoting your PA cage fighting fight, and when you were there, you were younger, you had such a drive. You were talking like you were going to be in the UFC soon. You had, like I said, that drive was something. Is that drive still there? Do you still want to compete at the highest level in the sport?
Oh, for sure. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, I'm not doing just to kind of scratch an itch. I guess you'd say that. I mean, I definitely want to get to that level, but I have to prove myself, you know. And I think I want to be able to. I mean, since I think this fight is on UFC Fight Pass, which is great, I really hope Dana White maybe is tuning in. He's bored, he's kicking his feet up, and he sees it. Sean Shelby is able to kind of just turn a channel and see it, because I do want to be in the UFC, but I want to show them, hey, like, maybe this kid can't have it. Show him, like, put him on the Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter. That'd be great, you know, because it's not just me having like being a good fighter. You know, I have other aspects that you could build. Like a good, like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like Conor at all, but like how they built him up, how they built Sean O'Malley up. You know, that I can be that person. They just have to see the qualities I have to be able to do that. You know, but first and foremost comes first winning. You know, and winning in fashion, winning that wants to put people in their seats is first and foremost part. And like you said, the drive, I do have that drive. Of course, I wouldn't be stepping out of the cage if I didn't. You know, I can't. That's something I've always had since I was a kid. That, like, I just, if I put my mind to something, I want to do it. You know, I want to excel at it as well too. I don't want to be average. So I know, trust me, I still have it. Like you brought it up, it's in me, but I got to tone it down till the day of the fight before I go at it. You know, so I'm getting a little old, so I gotta inch my way into things.
Well, I can tell you, everybody here in northeastern Pennsylvania is going to be behind you. We want to see somebody in the UFC. It's been a long time, not since Jimmy Hedis did it. And I know Jimmy was a coach of yours. He's still a good friend of yours, still helps you out with training. He's not going to be cornering you for your fight on April 1st, but just talk about Jimmy a little bit and how he's helped you out in your career.
He's been the leader from me from day one, like just kind of listening to him, his experience, his knowledge on, and his background on how to do everything from the starting the camp and ending camp and everything in between. It's all been Jimmy's mentality and how he does it. Maybe not this camp, but from where I started, I still know all of that, and I still know what it takes to be able to be dominant at this level, you know, or at that level, I should say. But Jimmy, I mean, I love the kid. He's honestly, and he's become like one of my best friends, you know. And he's a father now, so, and he's a great father as well too. And he's currently has a job himself too, so he constantly is doing other things than just kind of worrying about me. But he still has the time to go and text me throughout my camp and see how I'm doing. If I need help, the free time he has, I'll mesh it up with him and see. But I just had a private session with him not too long ago, and in that private session, I've learned so much in a small, about an hour and a half window, that I've learned a lot. That it's any minute, any half hour, any hour with him, I'm learning more than I could ever learn, and he's been such a tremendous help to me, and I can't thank him enough.
All right, Malek, one last thing now before you roll out here. Tell everybody why they should download UFC Fight Pass and tune in on April 1st to watch your fight.
Well, they should already know that if they're watching this video. But no, I mean, honestly, it's going to be like it used to be. Like, I'm going to go in there like a firecracker, honestly, just ready to explode as soon as the first bell rings, and I'm looking for a finish. I'm not one of the fighters that you like to see that takes down or takes somebody down and watch. It's kind of waiting for the end or around the end. You know, I'm looking to finish the fight and put on a show for everybody. So it's going to be exciting 5 minutes of the first round. I'll tell you that. It's been a while, and I'm definitely going to show there's no rust into it.
There you have it, guys. Malek the Dude Mahmoud. Looking forward to seeing him fight once again. Again, his fight is on April 1st. Make sure you get UFC Fight Pass and you check out his fight. And just as a reminder to everybody out there, like I always do, subscribe to this YouTube channel to see more great interviews just like this one. And remember to keep going to MyMMANews. We have great content coming out there 7 days a week. Also, make sure you go to our social media channels. Give us a like. Give us a follow. We appreciate it. We'll see you later, everybody.